What are dupes? What are we supporting when we buy makeup from companies that they are selling dupes? What is the impact of dupes on the makeup industry? Hello cat people! How are you today? I am Catlady Antigoni, and today, by starting from the example of W7, we are analyzing the impact of the dupes in the makeup industry. First of all, let me tell you some things about W7, and if you're wondering why I'm basing my whole example on W7, the answer is because W7 is the only company that is doing absolutely and only dupe makeup products. So basically they do not have their own ideas, they are just duping. That's why I find it a perfect example for today's video, and that's why I'm gonna talk mainly about this brand. W7 established in UK by two men, and basically they created this makeup brand because they believe that everyone should be able to enjoy all the high-end products in more affordable prices. If you ask my opinion, well, I don't really agree with this thing, and if you wanna know why, just keep watching the video. Now, before I actually explain you why I disagree with this statement, let me actually tell you some things about myself and my kind of buying relation with W7. Well, I started doing makeup, at least on myself, on 2017. Back then I was studying in another city, and let's say I wasn't the most rich person in the world, so I really wanted to experiment with some palettes. I really wanted to try some new colors, some colors that actually were not existed in the palettes that I used to buy from the companies that I used to buy, and I started looking in more expensive brands. Obviously I could not afford to have like a 70 euro palette, because obviously I had to pay my rent, I had to pay for my food, so to me it was completely out of budget. I think that you can understand how happy I became when one day, kinda accidentally, anyway without purpose, that's the point here, I found a W7 physical store. I entered the store, I had a look, all the girls there informed me that I could find all the high-end palettes that I wanted in this W7 store, and actually they were cruelty-free. A lot of their products back then were even vegan, so I'm like, yeah, this is for me. And that was the first thing that I bought from W7. This palette called On The Rocks, and it's basically a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette Subculture, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm not mistaken. It's a dupe for Subculture. Actually, the color scheme is amazing. Not the quality, unfortunately. I don't think that we can compare this palette, which cost around 10 to 15 euros depending from where you're buying it from, with the original Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, which costs around $60. Of course not. But for back then, and where I was in the makeup, and for my first steps, and for my mentality, like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, I don't know if I have the talent to do it. So yeah, to me it was something amazing, that's why I bought it. And then some months later, I wanted to dupe for Huda's Beauty New Nude. If I'm not mistaken, it's called New Nude. I'm not keeping up with Huda that much, but anyway, this is the socialite, and basically it's the dupe that I wanted. As you can see, this palette as well as this palette are both well used because they were among my first palettes. I learned a lot of stuff by using their palettes, like W7's palettes. And to be honest, yes, I regret not buying the originals, but knowing my financial situation back then, I could not afford them. So for 10 euros, I think it was worth it. And at the beginning of the video, I promised to tell you why I personally believe that the founders of W7 dream is basically unrealistic. Well, have you ever heard about copyrights? Because personally, I had absolutely no idea. The only reason that I know about copyrights and how they are working is because that I am a creator myself. I have an Instagram page. My Instagram, by the way, is Catlady Antigoni. I'm gonna leave it down here. You can go and follow me there, but obviously this is not the thing. As you can understand, the whole thing with copyrights is a little bit complicated. complicated, but basically I'm gonna explain you in rough lines in order to understand the whole situation. Let's take again the example of Anastasia Beverly Hills. Okay, she and her team are putting a lot of effort and a lot of money in order to improve the formulas, in order to create the concept, in order to think about the colors, the shades, basically the order that they're gonna place them in the palette, and that's a lot of effort, a lot of money and a lot of time spent. Now, what W7 is doing is basically just stealing the whole thing. Let me show you. Okay, I'm just taking the palette again on the rocks. They have the same color of the packaging. Yeah, Anastasia does not have the golden letters, but you can understand here what I'm trying to say, right? Secondly, they have exactly the same order of the colors. I mean, come on, they didn't even try to change them, which is so bad in my opinion, because they are stealing the whole thing lightheartedly when other people or brands or companies are basically losing money constantly. And now you might ask why they are not doing something about it. Why not Huda Beauty, Anastasia Beverly Hills? They're not trying to stop brands like W7 from producing dupes of their products, of their efforts. Well, they are doing it in such a way that Anastasia or all the other brands cannot really do a lot. Look at it. It doesn't say subculture anywhere. It doesn't refer to the Anastasia shade names. It doesn't refer to Anastasia herself. So basically, only if you visit a store, either physical or online, you basically get the information that this is a dupe. And sometimes you don't even get that. Basically, you need for you to recognize, or you need to do some little research. How can I find Anastasia palettes for cheaper, for example? And in this way, they kinda are able to escape without any consequences. And at this point you might ask, are only the bigger brands like Anastasia or Huda are affected by dupe brands like W7? Well, the answer is obviously no. We, as consumers, obviously are affected as well. Why? Because we are misled. Basically, when W7 advertises all their new palettes, they are basically claiming that they have exactly the same quality with the originals. So obviously, you can understand that you cannot have the same quality by just paying the 1/5 of the price. There is a reason why the bigger brands are charging this amount of money, and it's not only about the quality, it's also about the work that they have put in, the creative team, all the colors, all the new formulas, everything. All these, they need to be paid. While brands like W7, when they are basically putting zero effort to create a color story, a palette, a layout, everything, they don't have to pay all these big teams. That's why they can bring down the cost by a lot. So in my head, this is at least sketchy what they are doing, and definitely it is misleading. And after all this, you might also ask what I personally plan to do with my palettes. Well, at this point I would like you to know that from W7 I have these two palettes that I showed you, and also I have some other stuff that I received in PR. So first of all, when it comes to the palettes, I will definitely declutter them from my collection, because I have a lot of other palettes, a lot better quality palettes, I would say. So definitely I don't need them. And one more reason is that I do not really talk about W7 and brands like these here on my channel, because I find their policies completely unethical and I don't promote unethical stuff. Now, when it comes to other stuff like lip products or What else do I have? A powder, stuff like that. Basically, I'm planning to finish them because I don't have a lot of product left, and I will never talk to you about W7 in this channel. I will not accept any more PR that has to do with W7. I will not accept gifts. Obviously, I'm not gonna buy anything. So this is my plan. This is what I'm about to do, and I would like to hear your opinion. First of all, if you have any Dupe products, what are you planning to do with them? Please write down in the comments. Another thing that I would like to cover in this video is the general idea of dupes. What is a dupe? Basically, a dupe means duplicate, so we're talking about a duplicate product from an expensive or inexpensive brand. It doesn't really matter. I have seen a lot of stuff, so basically I have an idea and you come and take my idea, not fully. Basically, you can copy just a part, you can copy the full idea, you can do a lot of bad stuff. When I personally draw the line is in cases like, guess what? W7, because they have stolen the whole concept, even the colors. Okay, now when it comes to, for example, ELF, when they're kinda saying that they're having a similar product, they do not have the same name, they do not have the same colors, they do not claim that they have the same formula or anything, but they have the same, let's say, doe foot applicator, okay? Is it acceptable? Yes, because they can think about their products and how they want to package their products. So to me, it is not pure stealing like with brands like W7, for example. It's just like, I think that their mentality is like, I see something nice, a nice feature on a product, on a different brand, and I try to find a way to incorporate it to my own products. Is it 100% ethical? Well, no, but it's not to an acceptable degree, at least in my head. So yeah, I don't mind if ELF kinda tries to dupe one applicator or to dupe one basic idea of how another product is working, with different packaging, with different formulas, different everything. And now it's time for the Greek word of the day. Today we are discussing a very serious topic, and we are talking about copyrights, and basically that's what I would like you to know from today's video. So in Greek we say πνευματικά δικαιώματα. Say with me. Πνευματικά δικαιώματα. So this means kinda mental rights. It's an amazing word, and I would be very happy if you use it down in the comments. I would like to finish this video by doing some swatches from both the palettes that I own from W7 in order to prove to you that their quality is really low, and to me the fact that they are keep doing it even in 2022 when I'm recording this video is just frustrating. By the way, I started the swatches by this burgundy red. Look how unfortunate weak color is it. It's just so sad. So I'm trying to swatch some dark colors as well as some lighter. So I'm gonna go with Magnum and Caracao. Please give me a second to swatch it on my hand right now. Okay, this is Magnum. Another very weak color. I'm gonna go with Caracao as well. Ooh, even worse, oh my god. Now I'm gonna go to an orange, it's called Bellini. Hopefully I will have better luck here. No. And basically these were some swatches from On The Rocks palette. I'm gonna go to Socialite and create some swatches for here as well. I'm gonna go to this Cosmopolitan. Basically this is a more neutral nude palette, and we hope to have some better luck. I think this is kinda improved as a formula, but I would like to see some darker colors from this palette. This is the Nouveau Riche, French name, wow. Let's see how it performs. Yeah, here we started not having good quality again. And I'm gonna swatch one last one, a marble one, which is called Extravagance. Ooh, that's so hard as a pan. Like, if you see marbles in general, they are so smooth, so soft, and to me, only by the texture, it screams about quality, okay? So if you see it on my hand, it's bad actually. It has a lot of patches and it cannot be applied kinda perfectly. That's very unfortunate, but yeah, with these swatches right here, I try to prove to you that their quality is definitely not equal with the original palettes. And that was it. This was our video for today. I'm very curious to hear your opinions down in the comments about W7, about dupes, about how do you prefer to buy. If you prefer to buy from high-end brands, if you prefer to go with more affordable brands, if you have no issues with dupes in the end, like this is also fine as well. We're here to discuss things. I think that whatever we say down in the comments will be a very interesting conversation. If you're curious about this makeup, I have already filmed a video. I don't know if it is up on my channel. If it is not, it's coming very soon. Also, the next video will be on Tuesday and it will be a makeup tutorial. Until then, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and see you on Tuesday. Bye!